Hi there. Oh, I love this. People are already here. This is fantastic. Jeannie. Wow. And Sheila and Richard and Chrissy. Thanks so much. And I have to share everyone. Jeannie is a very special person. Not that the rest of you aren't, but she and I are family. This is really a treat. So, and great to see you too, Richard. Richard, everybody, is from New Zealand. He and I connected on infamous TikTok, and I know he's probably still on. So, lucky you. We are over here on YouTube. Isn't that great? So anyway, I want to welcome you everyone to the evening tonight. I hope you had a great day. And I'm going to start the evening off with cards again. For those who are new, I don't normally, hi Claudia, I don't normally do cards. When I do retreats, I share cards. However, when I read people, I don't use cards, but they're really fun to share in a group setting. And so I thought I would pull a card from two different decks to set the tone for the next week. Thanks you guys for being here. So the first one I'm going to do is from the Moonology deck from a fabulous woman that I know that gave this to me as a gift. And since we have a new moon this week, this Friday, I thought it would be perfect to read what's going on for a new moon and what we can do to amplify that energy for us ourselves personally as well as for the globe. So this is new moon in Libra. Now what's very interesting, I read an astrology report today and it was everything is hitting chaos. Thank you for the regarding aliens and heating up, etc. Yes, you're welcome. I appreciate that we can always talk about aliens. I'm good with aliens. But right now we're going to start with this, but we can go there because it's really fun. But with all the chaos right now in the stars and the planets, etc., the astrologers make it sound like it's going to be real chaos. However, if we set the tone, that's what makes the difference. So this new moon, Friday, new moons are when we really go within ourselves and set the tone, make the commitment to ourselves, set the intentions, very important. And it says, give and take could well be the answer to whatever dilemma you're asking about. For example, just before we started, one of my wonderful friends and clients asked a question, and this is a perfect way to answer your question, is give and take could well be the answer to whatever dilemma you're asking about. Compromise may be called for. It's time to start negotiating or even renegotiation. If you think about that, big picture right now, I love this because I'm going to segue for just a second. And Claudia, that does kind of go back to you as well. But right now, the WHO and the CDC just came out that social distancing doesn't do anybody any good. Big surprise. I've been saying that for 6 months now. So they are renegotiating what's going on. I mean, there have been 1 million people in Berlin that that rallied. There was second time there were 2 million. They're going to have another rally in Berlin. I would love to be there. Again, it's all about renegotiating what's going on in the world right now. So this is really to our advantage and for all of us, because that's what this is all about. What is for us? When the new moon in Libra comes up, there's a restart for you and for someone else. A new relationship could be beginning, and if that's the case, the chances are this will be healthy and well-balanced connection in anything you do. After pulling this card, doing it in pairs is advised, such as teaming up with someone in business or in your personal life. So I feel that as a suggestion, anybody that's, we don't have a big group here yet, but in terms of your personal life, doing things when you're looking at projects, or if you're doing something, it could be even negotiating within your own relationship, make sure that you're doing this in a team. Libra is the sign of relating, and this card suggests that whoever is at the heart of the issue you're addressing is someone who will be open to talking things through. Avoid being selfish. It won't get you anywhere at this time. Well, let's hope that's true with what's going on around the world. Let's hope that the selfishness, because I do feel there's been a bit of control and selfishness when it comes to the WHO and the CDC. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. And we need to get back to life. We need to get back to work. We need to get back to living and thriving. People need people. People do much better when they are out. We all need to raise our vibrations, which what we're going to talk about, but that also includes our immune systems. And when our immune systems are healthy, then get out there and embrace life. If you're at all worried, stay home like you would with the flu, like you would if you had some major, hi Tina, nice to see you. If you had anything going on, you stay home, right? I mean, that's just common sense, right? And I don't know about you, but I have issues. I take issues having to wear the mask. You know, I see red. Actually, I don't do it well. So again, I like this, that from the bigger picture, that this week it's already coming out. This is about negotiating, and it's not only negotiating on a personal level, it's negotiating on a larger level, which is fantastic. Now, one more card for the week before we get into the topic. And also, I mean, we have a small group here and hoping that we get some more people tonight. However, in the meantime, you guys can always send me a question, and I am happy to segue from my topic at hand and answer your questions, which is always fun too. That's what we did on TikTok, only I could see everybody's questions. It's totally different. Anyway, tonight's card is, would World Health Organization lockdown should be a no-no. So yes, refreshing change in attitude. Yes, it's about flipping time, right? I mean, we shouldn't have lockdowns. I mean, they're now coming out with this backtrack on the lockdowns. How many people's lives have been impacted financially, just financially with lockdowns? Big businesses can operate, small businesses are supposed to close. Who came up with that brilliant idea? Small business is the heart of not only America, but the heart of the world. So I'm really hoping that that expands and we expand on opening up around the world. So, okay, the card for the week, for Monday to Monday, is selenite green. I'm going to show you the picture of, the, can you see it? Does that kind of, I know it's backwards, but it's a really gorgeous stone. So let's see what it says. Healing, tranquil pleasures, daydreams, and imaginings. Life is a river of dreams. Simply relax and enjoy the journey. Over the coming days, you will find yourself daydreaming. I've been doing that. Hopefully you guys have been too. Envisioning your life as you would truly love it to be. Your thoughts are bathed in the tranquil pleasures of love, romance, and ideal relationships. Yet these imaginings are not fantasy. Rather, they are glimpses of the future. I have to segue from this card for just a second. This is really, I mean, that sounds like all airy-fairy. However, if every one of us, not only in this group, but your friends, your family, if we all start imagining the world in which we want, I daydream. Good, Chrissy, that's fantastic. The more we do this, the more we can then create the world that we desire, but we have to stay in that vibration, that frequency, and that's, again, what we're going to be talking about throughout the evening. So this is perfect. This goes right along with it. So when you think about tranquil pleasures of love, romance, and ideal relationships, these imaginings are not fantasy, they are glimpses of the future. So, okay, everybody, let's start imagining the future that we all want, which means no more COVID. It's going to be around. It's not going away. So, I mean, it's time to open up. I mean, it just is. It's just part of the story. In truth, everybody probably knows this, but we have viruses all the time in our body. We actually have cancer in our body all the time. It's whether we choose to activate it. Hey, Tracy, great to have you. So think about that. We have it. So the best offense, or the best defense, is a strong offense, which is a strong immune system and holding our vibrations high. That's really, really important. And how we do that is by imagining fabulous things. You are entering a time of great joy, creativity, and tranquility. This time your dreams and wishes really do come true. Well, let's hope this next week is that, because here in the States, because Richard is in New Zealand and Tina is in Canada, you guys aren't facing the election, so I know our elections do impact you. Yeah, exactly. Our elections this weekend, and will be interesting as Jacinda Ardern is out in front. Wow. Richard, we'll all watch the news on New Zealand. To be honest with you, the only way we ever get any news around here from out of the country is we have to seek it. Our regular news is so limp. It's very limp. We don't get news from the rest of the world. I mean, so keep us posted, Richard. Give me an insight when that's happening. You guys are ahead of us on your elections. So let's put our dreams and wishes on the table and really think positively. Friendly, and we'll update. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. On that, okay, Jacinda and Bill Gates are friends, buddy pals. Well, what's interesting about that, this Wednesday, and this would be difficult for you guys that are out of the country, but I'm doing a meetup group that is virtual. You might be able to do it because it is a virtual uh, event. We have people that are coming, but it's also virtual. And this week is called The Three Gates, right? The Three Gates. It's on Bill Gates, Spygate, Pizzagate, and we can just keep going with the gates. I'm going to segue into the spiritual element of that, but that's going to be the main focus. And to have her buddies with Bill Gates is not necessarily in your best interest, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Now, the other interesting piece, I would invite everyone, yes, red pilling, that's it, that's the right one, is if you're not familiar with Sasha Stone, I would invite you to watch him. He's phenomenal. He's been around for 15, 20 years on working with the global energies and sovereignty and human sovereignty. And he did a great show on Canada and on Australia, New Zealand. They're kind of, I think he kind of grouped them together. However, one of his comments was, if New Zealand, Australia, and Canada fall, the rest of the world falls, because they're talking about the vaccines. They're talking about the, obviously lockdowns are starting to shift, but the masking, full-time masking, lockdowns, vaccines that are filled with nanites and all sorts of really crazy, icky nonsense and yuck. Been well, tough couple of weeks, more than usual. My daughter, rough time at online university, feelings on where she should be putting her energies concerning her career. Okay, we have a question, and we have two questions. This is great. Yes, 2 seconds, I will take that. So back to Canada and to New Zealand is the more we focus on what we want and human sovereignty and positive things for ourselves individually and as a collective, that's how we change the vibration of this planet. Very, very important. And I know there are so many people that are going through challenging times right now, and we have to bring it back to the personal level. Think about the global piece, but bring it back to the personal level so that we can then shift how we are feeling about things so that the external world goes from there as well. So, to Claudia's question, Claudia had a question. She's on the floor, and then I'm going to go to you, Tina. She's been, Australian member of Parliament said in a live TV over the weekend, the New World Order is in action, and correct himself, I meant to say COVID. It is the New World Order, absolutely. That's why we have to be so diligent, folks. We have to be aware. We have to know what's going on. What cracks me up, my former husband said I was going right-wing conspiracy theorist. Well, you can look at it that way, but this is global, just like you, Richard, just like you, Tina, in Canada. Exactly. So, okay, Claudia. Claudia is, and this is kind of, this it involves the whole picture. Claudia is taking care of one of her best friend's family to help out because there's so many people having to stay home and all of that. And she's wanting to leave for a couple days. And I really like what the card said, was to negotiate and to balance. And I have a feeling that the best thing is for you to go. You guys need that time. And at the same time, really call on the family members to help step up and do their job, because there are other people in the family that can help you. And I know it's not easy, but hold their feet to the fire. It's just as what is, because you guys need that time with your own family. So make that happen. Now, Tina, you asked about things that were difficult for your daughter. And that's not easy. That's not easy when, and she is one of millions now that are going through a challenging time. However, the challenge, if we look at it from that level, challenging times can be our best windows, our best doorways into our next best self if we don't belabor the shadow side, if we don't belabor the negativity of the situation, if we go, okay, if I do it this way, do it this way, and do it this way. You might remember my video on TikTok where it was all about wearing the different hats, and you put on a different hat to try it on. Okay, how does this feel? Does this career fit? So she can go into her heart and really ask herself, this feels good, this doesn't feel good. It's funny when I look at her specifically, she is, it's like she's got a smorgasbord in front of her and she's got too many things to choose from. Ask her to narrow down, because she waffles back and forth. Well, if I do it this way, then I can do that. And if I waffle, then if she waffles over here, well, I can make more money. The most important thing is that she follows her heart. Narrow it down to 3 things. Try on the hats and go from there, and really help her hone in on that, because she's totally in her head right now and she's not following her heart. So exactly. So when she taps into her heart energy and tries on the hats, there is a very strong one. And it's funny, it's like, and this is not because I'm seeing a MAGA hat, but I see a red hat, meaning it's full of passion. She's more excited about it. She is in tune with what's going on. She really likes that direction. But she gets in her head because, will there be enough jobs? Will there be enough money? Blah, blah, blah. Enough of that. It will all work out when she follows that lead. So that's really important. So I'm sure that will help, I hope. 2 seconds, guys. Got to get a quick drink. So now, I read something today that falls in line with this, and it was just perfect because they said it. You know how you hear some things, and I teach all the time, but sometimes it's like, oh, those are great words. And this is, you're welcome. You are so welcome. This falls right along with her. This falls in line with Claudia or anybody else's questions. Is the most important thing now, more than ever, again, because it's about vibration, does it resonate or it doesn't resonate? Because it's like COVID, sorry, doesn't resonate. Masks don't resonate. Lockdowns don't resonate. If again, for those who are fearful, stay home. Wear a mask. I don't care, but I don't want to. So that doesn't resonate for me. So we have to go with what resonates, what really feels good and what doesn't feel good. I think this is really, really important. So every day, really focus on those things. Focus on what resonates for you. You don't have to overanalyze. You don't have to overthink things. You just have to go boom. Now, in terms of resonance, that's vibration, right? That's energy. And our bodies vibrate, our world around us vibrates, our animals vibrate, everything vibrates. So with that said, the more you get in touch and in alignment with your body and in your frequency field, the better you will, the stronger you will be, the better able you will be to be your best, right? So the more you're in align with you, your higher self, it's so essential. Most of us, and I can be just as guilty of this, you know, you go to the store, you're in traffic, you have kids to feed, you know, the list goes on, bills to pay, whatever. We go into that left brain mental production that we have to do. The most important thing is always to bring it back to center, bring it back into who you are, what is important, and now more than ever, we have to stay in this alignment. I put up here that called out the next wave of COVID and another lockdown, and they were right, and we're just 3 days out. They had papers. I missed that last bit. It fades so quickly when I'm trying to read it out loud to everybody. That's crazy. You know, it's, you know, I don't believe a lot of stuff. I don't believe a lot of the numbers. I'm going to segue for just a second on the resonance, because resonance, does that resonate with you? Does that resonate with everybody here tonight? Does that feeling, that energy, does that resonate? And no, it doesn't resonate. I mean, I won't do a Roto-Rooter test because I'm not going to have my brain spiked, but I also don't trust the test. You're not in the head. It's obvious lately. I feel different. I was talking to someone. She said my energy is intense. Is it? Good question, Chrissy. So with New Zealand, right? With New Zealand, be really diligent. Yeah, it is a pandemic. I won't take the vaccine. Yay. High five to you, Richard. Absolutely. High five to you, because there's no way. There is no way. I won't take a vaccine. If that means I never leave the country again, so be it. I mean, if they really go to that extreme, if the one world order, can I say that without being taken down? I don't know. I know there are certain words you're not allowed to say on YouTube. So, very interesting. I just feel that the more we are aware, the more in tune, and if it doesn't resonate, don't do it. And if that means you have to draw the line in the sand, draw the line in the sand. Absolutely. And if that's not loving, it's standing up for our human sovereignty. That's why I love Sasha Stone. Again, I would recommend everybody to go watch him, because he is incredibly spiritual, and yet he's incredibly passionate about what's not okay and what is okay, which is really great. Now, Chrissy, your question, your comment about being highly charged, about being very intense right now, absolutely, all of us are. And in all different ways. Somebody can be more intense on a passionate level. Somebody can be more intense with their emotions going down the rabbit hole, just because we're in this huge swing polarity going on all the time right now because of COVID, the lockdowns, the fires, the this, the election, right? Everything. And all that external energy is what is impacting us. How do you know if you're not in your head? How do you know if you're not in your heart? Okay. We probably talked about this live before in TikTok, but again, my camera's really weird. Pick up your head and drop it down on the table next to you or the side table or whatever, and then drop your frequency, energy, your thought, your energy down into your heart. And then operate as if you have eyes right here and come from this space and place within your heart and see how that feels from that perspective, how that resonates. So when you have a situation that arises, you come from this level. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk about in terms of our frequencies. Because everybody goes, how do we raise our frequencies? Well, our frequencies are the vibrations that our body puts out. And when we are in happy thoughts, our vibration of our bodies literally raises. It's monitorable, if that's such a word. And when we think the positive thoughts, then we vibe higher, the physiology of our body changes, the brain physiology changes, and we become happier, lighter beings. So when we come from a place within our hearts, we are then, and then you combine it with your intellect so that you have this cross section between the intellect and the heart, then we have the best opportunity to make really good decisions and choices. And then we can find out what really resonates. So get in the habit, picking your head up, popping it down, and dropping down into your heart and go from there. Okay? Very, very important. Because when you do that, it literally raises your vibrations up. And when your vibrations go up, you feel happier, and that energy spreads out to those around you, which is really good. Now, most of the time, our bodies resonate between 62 to 72 megahertz. When we start vibing higher, we can go up to 80 to 90 megahertz, right? When we keep going up. Now, if you're feeling off, I've talked about this before, but what really helps are essential oils. We talked about that last week, but I keep bringing it up to remind people because essential oils vibrate at such high frequencies that then when you add them to your own body, it helps shift your emotional blocks, which keep us held back. Okay? So get in the habit of having essential oils around. That's why everybody suggests lavender. It's very calming. It's very relaxing. The highest vibration is fir, Idaho fir, and then rose oil. Yeah, and 528 megahertz music is my favorite. My favorite. It just resonates, and I know why. That's a great thing to bring up, Richard, is that corresponds to the third chakra. Third chakra, 528 megahertz, and what's so important about that, this is the energy field that we have been residing in for the last how many thousands of years, and we are literally moving up into the fourth dimension, which is another vibration. But we need to get this clear, not keep it clear, but we need to get it clear to keep it clear to raise the vibrations. So yes, rose oil, fir oil, pine oil, because the fir, if you can't get out into nature, those kinds of essential oils are very grounding, but they're also very uplifting. So when you're in doubt, if you need a moment because you're depressed or frustrated, get some essential oil, and it really will help. You can diffuse it on the stove. You can put it on your wrist. You can put it behind your temples down here behind yours. Yeah, these are my temples. So again, heart-centered, bringing the energy then from your heart to your intellect. Add your essential oils. Add in your 528 hertz music. Help clear out that chakra, because again, this is the energy center that the whole world is residing in. I've said this before, I will say it probably 1,000 times, that everybody, and you're never supposed to say always, however, when I work with people, every single time the third chakra needs to be cleared. I've never had any client ever in the years I've been doing this saying gratitude is up and down. Oh, you're welcome, Sheila. Thank you. Thank you for being here. That I've never met anybody that doesn't have third chakra. And it's not because they're inept or blocked more than anybody else. It's what we are going through as a collective. And knowing that, that's when we grab each other's hands and reach out, say hi and love to everybody else, and work on that third chakra. That's why raising your vibrations are really important. And then clearing out that chakra with the 528 music. Richard, thank you for bringing that up. That's so good. The other thing that's important to remember is this. With the craziness of what we're dealing with on the planet right now, the energies are so intense, and it's so important to remember to stay away from those energies that are fragmenting to our energy fields, because everything is right now. Even when I said it, it's very interesting. I can see it almost like a modern painting of lines and angles, and I see people's energies getting very disruptive. I do much better now. I get my bubble put in tension. That's good. Bought a smoky quartz crystal, carry in your pocket. See, crystals, add crystals in. Good. It's like why I do crystals. I think it's very important. That's wonderful. Chrissy, that's a great addition into this. So both you and Richard brought up some really great things. So again, think about what is fragmenting to you. What fragments and makes your energy become more scattered and very angular rather than smooth and round and at peace. When you feel those energies, do your best to distance yourself from them as best you can. If that means that you turn on the music, if it means you carry smoky quartz, if that means you get out into nature, if that means that you just turn off the news, whatever you need to do, get into that space that doesn't fragment your energy. Okay, this is so important. And with everything heating up around the world and this issue with the one world order trying to take over. Okay, I'm going to segue for just a second on that. One world order has been around, the concept has been around for a very long time. Are we going to go there? No. Are we going to pass through this threshold? Absolutely. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to take every one of us here on the planet to be involved, to be non-complacent, to take action? Absolutely. Now that can be something as simple as being kind to your neighbor. It could be something as simple as drawing the line in not taking the vaccine and standing up with everybody else. What's so important is that we're all involved with this shift and working on ourselves personally, but at the same time really working with the collective. So here's another thing for raising your vibrations. When you wake up in the morning and when you go to sleep at night, I mean, it reminds me of a little girl where, you do the prayers in front of your heart. Now, the reason we always used to do this is because it aligns us with our heart and our heart chakra and keeping us open, which is really fantastic. And at the same time, when we align from this energetic prayer of sending out love to all our loved ones, to the world, to even those people that are creating this really dark energy on the planet, we help shift the dynamic. So if you can get in the habit when you wake up and when you go to sleep, is to stay in this peaceful, loving resonance with everyone. And the other piece about that that's really important is the more you do that with intention, like in a prayer or sending out that energy into the world, it makes a huge difference. Not only for yourself, because you wake up, but you go to sleep happier, it also puts you into this fabulous space that you actually help others just by being around you, because you have reached that level of resonance, again, that's out of the distortion. Really, really important. So that's another thing you can do to raise your vibrations. Now, I am going to kind of segue for a moment just because I have to share this amazing story. And this is an idea that I would recommend for everyone, because I tried something new and different last night in terms of, because I'm always trying something new, right? And I don't know how many of you read or have read about crop circles. And crop circles, they have proven that when people sit in crop circles, they actually feel better. Their vibration goes up. They actually can physically heal. Oh, that's good. That's fabulous. Well, what I did was I found a crop circle that I resonated with, right? And then there are tons of crop circles you can look at the pictures of, right? And what I did is, with intention, I set it in my living room and then visualized it filling the space around my house, around, and this particular one, because of the energy that flows, I used that in my intention. I put my cats and my dog in that center, and that we were putting out positive energy and we were drawing in energy at the same time. So this is a wonderful way of setting the intention through the visualization of a crop circle. You can go online and download a zillion different pictures, pick one that really resonates with you, and then set that intention with the energy of that crop circle and sit in the middle of it. Put it around you, put it in your living space, put it, you can fill your whole community with it, whatever works best for you. Now, what's really fun, because again, this is all about raising our vibrations. This is about working with universal frequencies. This is working with higher dimensional beings, right? So why not tap into that? They have proven that crop circles and ancient sites, the vibrations within the sites, can feel it already. I love it. That, in fact, I've just set that intention for everybody here tonight. We're going to crop circle all of us, that energy flow. That when you go into the ancient sites, it's like going into a meditative state because it sets a certain resonance, right? A certain frequency. So that's why I wanted to bring this up as a fun idea. Again, you don't have to. It's just a great idea, in my opinion, because here we go. What I did was I set this down, and then I went to the four corners. I literally went to the four directions to see which side that felt the best, and just then set the intention of putting that energy out. And what I got a sense of is that crop circles, and they probably talk about this, I don't know, I haven't read that much about them. Crop circles and orbs are connected. I think that there are a lot of orbs that are seen at crop circles. What's interesting about that is my feeling is that the orbs are higher dimensional beings. Everybody wonders what they are, but they had to take this form in this vibrational pattern because their bodies don't translate to this lower vibration. So thus they come in an orb. And I feel that it's almost like it's so instant when these designs, these special sacred geometry designs are created, that it's like they push the matrix of it and boom, done. It's done. It happens so quickly, like in a blink of an eye, that energy comes through the layers. This is just my interpretation. It comes through the layers, and they are here as reminders of the bigger story, which is so important because we have so many dark energies that are on the planet. That doesn't make them bad news. They're just here as a negative catalyst. So these crop circles are a way of energizing us and reminding us, big news 20 years ago because fields that increase, exactly. It's exactly right. And I just think it's like, why not use this energy? So it doesn't have to be anything, you take a picture and put it, have it printed off on a computer paper. It doesn't have to be anything special. It's the intention. It's the energy that we work with. So they've been around for a long time. We've kind of stuffed that information. They're still being done. And put it someplace, and then to do a meditation on it, set the intention with it. Because again, I went around the different directions. My feeling with this one, is that it spins. I felt myself spinning. I felt myself leaving and moving. It's like it was some kind of a vehicle that was rotating and could go between the dimensions. That's what I felt with this. I also felt that, again, the bit with the orbs. And then when I went to sleep last night, I just kept that energy in my intentional fields. And in my dreams, here, you're going to love this, is I was traveling in an old truck with a guy named David. Who's David? I have no Davids. David. And he drove us, and as we drove, we literally left the planet and went to another planet. I mean, just instant, like a Stargate, boom, done to another planet. And I know that it was in somehow related to this this crop circle that on a certain level for me is a Stargate. So again, that's why I wanted to share this with you, to really put that into your intentional vortex of trying something a little bit different with raising your vibrations and your frequencies, and why not utilize what's right in front of us. So, suggestion, my other invitation is to please give me feedback. I would love to have feedback, whether you send me a text. Texts are always good. Emails I'm a bit slow on. I get inundated with emails, so I text. You can get me directly. And Richard, that might be tough for you. So, and I have some parallel years with having the same issues in this lifetime. Very interesting. That is brilliant. See, this is like setting the intention. Okay, that what you can do with those kind of dreams, again, do the crop circles and the parallel. Again, we've talked about parallels because parallels are just us in this form. Like, for example, a parallel would be Richard Green, Richard Green, Richard Green, Richard Green, Richard Green, and all of those crossroads in your life that you had. You would have taken a left or a right. When you took a right, that if there's enough emotional energy, that frequency, that in that energy frequency, that left turn would still have the consciousness that would create that parallel lifetime, which is really cool, right? And for you to tap into that is absolutely true, because the same issues would be very similar. They just would be, because you're living out a parallel reality. Now, this would be the fun thing to do, is write that down, get all the specifics about it, and then do a crop circle visualization. Pull that in and see what kind of things you can learn from each other. Because there was a guy, I can't remember his name, it's been a while ago. He used to teach classes on how to tap into your parallel lifetimes. Well, I believe that we can do it by meditating, by doing crop circle visualizations, by being in our light, and then you tap into and ask your parallel selves, okay, what do we need to know? So essentially you are talking to you in another reality that is just as real as we are right here. So that's a fantastic thing. Great learning lesson on that. And then there's no reason why you can't utilize that in a way that's really positive, so that you can shift underlying all of our blocks. Bottom line are always fear. So that when you look at the fears, the blocks that we have, then as you shift he shifts, and when he shifts, you shift. It just is like magic. It just is, because we are multiple dimensional selves. Not only do we have the parallel lives going on, we have our alternate realities going on, all our other not past lives, our parallel lives. So we've got the parallel in this ourselves, right? And then we have the other lifetimes going on at the same time. So we are out there in multitudes. So, and yes, Sheila, you're absolutely right. Each affects the other. Now, this is what's really kind of fun and wild. Think about this. Let's go there, because this is again about setting our vibrations high. Is when you think of yourself in this lifetime, and you've got your parallels that are the youth, and then you have your other lifetimes that are out there. Everything is actively working in its own reality, and within that reality, we all of it affects the whole, just like Sheila says. Now, what's amazing, if you think about this, we are operating in 2162, and we're AD, and we are operating at 1500 BC. All of these lifetimes that we have had are all active, and all of those lifetimes can impact us as we impact them. So again, set those intentions again about raising your vibrations now, because it will impact not only you and the collective right here and now, it will also impact the collective out there in all aspects of yourself. And that, if you think about it, is just mind-boggling. So that means that our future selves are impacting who we are today, and our past selves are impacting who we are today, because there is no time. Speaking of that, on a segue for a second in terms of the what's going on in this world. There is a, what would I call it, a supposition, a probability field, an idea that our future selves came back in time, started back in the 50s to, oh God, we just got something good. I have my phone, I will share this in a minute. That our future selves came back to the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s to try and help shift. Exactly. Again, we're forgiving ourselves. Exactly. So we are here to help shift our future because we can do that. Because why? Because we are multiple dimensional. So how exciting. So the more we tap into this, again, by raising our vibrations and trusting our instincts, trusting our head with our heart, we can literally shift not only our moment right now, our tomorrows, and also our futures and our past, which is cool because the only thing that really matters is right now, the present moment. So now I want the other thing that's really important again about raising our vibrations is think about what's going on right now. Everybody's being inundated with so much nonsense, so much nonsense. So the most important thing, and I'm speaking to the choir on there, singing to the choir in this one, because everybody here I know in this group does this, and that is really trust your own thoughts, right? Your own beliefs, because and at the same time with your beliefs, expand them. You know, don't be set and stuck on a certain belief pattern just because that's the way you were taught. Expand those belief patterns. I think it's really important. So with that, listen to those inner truths. Are they yours? Are they somebody else's? Because when you totally tag into your beliefs that resonate with you, again, it raises your vibration. Very important. The more we vibrate higher, the happier we are. And physically, we have the ability to live longer, healthier, with great vitality. I think vitality is really important. I mean, I don't know about you. I look at my mother and she is 84 and she's going. I got to give her so much credit because she keeps herself active, but she also thinks very positively on a daily basis. And because of it, she also doesn't do a lot of meds. And she eats well and she exercises. So it's all about keeping those vibrations high for the long haul. Because I don't know about you guys, but I want to stick around for a while. I'm not ready to check off the planet. And on that note, what are the things that you haven't done? That goes back into our card about visualizing and daydreaming. Oh, my mom, yes, no kidding, she's amazing. Is visualize what you want to do and what haven't you done in this life that you really want to accomplish or experience. Because bottom line, why are we here? It's all about experience. I mean, it's all about our perspective at any given time and changing those perspectives. Is it possible to find out what we did, where we are from? Yes. Great question, Chrissy. I will answer that in just a second. Again, it's all about perspective and experience. So if you can expand your belief patterns, then your experiences widen and broaden, and with that comes, again, a lightening of the frequencies around us, because, again, this is so important as we navigate through these very choppy waters right now. Very important. Chrissy just asked a great question, and this is where I'm so limited on YouTube, is that I don't know if you guys can all see each other's questions. I don't know these things. She had a great question about can we see or tap into our other aspects of ourselves, and of course we can. You can do it through dream work. You can do it through meditation, visualization, and hypnosis. Those are your best avenues into discovering your other lifetimes and your parallel realities. Just like Richard had that fabulous dream. How cool is that? Tapped into a parallel self. Yes, we can see each other's question. Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate that, because on my end, it comes up really quickly. That's gone already. That's it. It's strange. I would like it if everybody, all the things scroll down the side, but they don't. So, do positive affirmations help to raise our frequency? Yes, on a certain level they do. That is a great question, because mantras have been around and saying positive affirmations has been around for a long time. The important piece, though, is it's a couple things. It's kind of multifaceted. This is, again, just my opinion, is when we do that, it's like doing the the rosary. You say, Hail Mary, Mother of God, and you do the rosary, and you tap every bead, and it's very meditative. So it's the same thing with a mantra or affirmations when you set that. The important thing, though, is to recognize and be very mindful of what your other thoughts are doing in the back of your head, because you could be going, well, I need to go to the grocery store, and oh, I forgot to pick up such and such, I need to get this. And you go through all these different things, or I'm so worried about my son. Oh my God. Okay, that already takes away, even though you've been setting the affirmation, totally changes the vibration of it. So what's important when you set a mantra or an affirmation is to really be mindful, again, back to that alignment with the positive vibe within yourself. Really align. Again, I haven't talked about this tonight, but be in the light frequency. Make sure you have light above you, around you, below you, and reinforce your boundaries of light, and clear out the muck and the mire. Just kind of push it out, send it out with love and light. Just go around you, above you, below you, in your light. Make sure you're connected with feet on the ground type of thing, right? And then you're in a much better, happier space, and then your affirmation, your mantra can then take hold. That's when it can be life-changing. Again, that's where, like, going into that Zen moment. I remember I'm not Catholic, but I lived next door to the Catholic church, and as a child, and the Catholic school, and the nuns' place, and they would do their rosary. And it was very, very calming and meditative. Again, I don't know what their thoughts were behind it, but the key with that is to really be in alignment with your highest vibration. And that's why being in your light is so important, right? And then as we do that, is to, if a fear crops up while you're doing that, look at it, put it on the table, dissect it, because that's what's debilitating. Oh, I love you, Sheila, thank you. That's what's debilitating, our fears, right? So if you're willing to look at your fears, okay, and let's see, let me think of some fears. Most of ours are, I'm not enough, I'm not going to be good enough, I'm getting old, I don't have enough schooling, on and on and on. I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. All of these fears that hold us back. And the truth of it is, if you are totally in alignment with you, nobody cares how old you are. Nobody cares your weight. Nobody cares if you ended up with a high school education. Nobody cares if you're in alignment with you. If you are totally dialed in that space of light, of goodness, of joy, of bliss. That's where the affirmations come in. That's why standing in your light is so important. And that's why all this nonsense that we go through, trust me, you look in the mirror and you're going, God, how did I get to be this old? When inside you feel really young. And so, again, that's a block. That's a fear. That is debilitating. So you have to shift that, going, I feel great. I am young. I am as old as I feel as old as I am, etc., etc. You reframe your fears. So really be willing to address, again, you're in your light, and looking yourself in the mirror, and you go, okay, what are my fears? What is it that's really holding me back? Why am I holding myself back? Because guess what? Imagine this is another thing. Imagine if you had your last 2 hours. What would you say to yourself? You would say to yourself, what were you thinking? Oh my God, let me slap you. Get your butt out there. Go live. I realize things are a little tight right now, but that doesn't mean you can't live within your 4 walls, or you can take a walk out in nature. You can go sit under a tree. You can sit by the ocean. Doesn't mean you can't do these things. And then look square in the mirror what your biggest fears are, and then say, okay, what can I do to change them? What can I do? For example, I'll use the aging thing. For me, I took time to self-nurture. That's one of my big things. And so I give a face scrub, and I pull my hair back and do a facial. I know that sounds silly. However, it's a way to address the fear. I'm going to use that as an example. So I can push through it and just say, okay, we're on to another day. So look at all of the different fears that hold you back, hold me back, hold us back, so that we can gather our strength, be in our best alignment. And when we are, there's nothing we can't accomplish. And then what happens is then we can join hands and we can do it with everyone. Because when we're in that space, people want to hang with you because you're cool, you're fun, you're wonderful. Again, it doesn't matter how old you are. And then we change their vibration, they change their vibration. So my invitation between this Monday and next Monday is to really look at all the different things that you're afraid of. What are you really afraid of? And say, okay, what can I do to change them? What can I do this week with this fear? What can I do to shift that? And say, okay, I can handle that. I can do that. And pull yourself up by the bootstraps if you have to, if it's really big, and be willing to take the first step. Take the first step. Richard, I'm going to use you as an example just because. Richard is this amazing man in New Zealand. So much talent, great voice, has been on the radio for a very long time, and he just pulled up in another new job this summer, which is really fantastic. And I'm so proud of him because when I did a reading with him, I just saw him go global because he has all these wonderful things, big heart. I'm going, oh my golly, we got to get you out there. And so I told you, Richard, you're a great example. So the fears that, of course, that get in the way, and I'll extrapolate this. He hasn't said this directly. I'm just using this as an example. Well, maybe I can't move or broaden my scope, or maybe I couldn't be heard in Australia, or maybe America. Nonsense to that. Nonsense. Because we all have the ability to do this. For example, fear. I'll use another example because that's what holds us back. What's very interesting tonight is that last week, again, I'm new on YouTube. Last week we had 130 people. Tonight we have 7. It's great. So then you go into, okay, oh, I'm not very good. I'm not saying anything. And the truth is, only it takes is one light, one candle to light the darkness, right? So if I can help 7 people in my life, I have made a difference in this world. If Richard can reach hundreds, thousands of people with his radio station, oh my God, he's changed the planet. If Sheila, who's in the chat, she just is in the process of finishing up her next book. If she is big, debilitating, but I've dreamed yesterday of talking thousands of times. See, yes, you're on there. And Sheila's writing a book. She's almost done with her next book. It's delightful. It's fabulous. I was lucky enough to be able to write a testimonial for it because it's wonderful. And we could say we can stop ourselves and from not doing the things that we really desire, and yet the only ones that hold us back basically is us. So again, look at your fears and say, okay, it's time to be courageous. And the fact that you're already feeling that, Richard, this is so good because we need you out there in the world. We need your voice. I love that. Sheila, you are such a gift. So thank you. Thank you. Again, it's like my books. It's like Sheila's book. If you have 2 people read it, it's enough to make your heart sing because somebody has been changed by what you've done. That's the most important thing. So look at where your fears are, what's held you back, what you can do to change it. Every single day going, okay, how am I going to embrace the day? Am I going to hold myself back, or am I going to get out there and make it happen? The other thing, too, that I have found to be really a positive is to do what makes you happy, meaning that a lot of times we do a lot of things based on obligations. We feel we have to do things because we got an invitation to that, or somebody asks us, would you be willing to do this for me, blah, blah, blah. My invitation to everyone is really do what stirs your heart. If doing something that is out of your realm, don't do it. Exactly. Good for you, Sheila. That's fantastic. So do what resonates. Back to what I originally said. Do what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, don't do it. I was invited to go on a hike on over the weekend, and everybody that knows me knows that I absolutely love to hike. Well, it was raining, and I decided they still went. There were a couple that still went. I chose not to, and I chose to have a cuddly Saturday morning instead because that's what resonated. And I didn't want to worry about hurting anybody's feelings or that I needed to please anybody. And that's what we have tended to do for most of our lives, is we always have to, we feel like we need to please, which is great. We need to take care of it, which is good. But at the same time, we have to take care of us first. When we take care of us, then our frequencies raise, which is wonderful. And I know that sounds selfish. It's not, because then you get to be a better mom, a better dad, a better partner, a better friend, a better radio announcer, a better psychic, whatever it is, better writer, when we take care of us first. So that's really, really a vital piece on this. I'm just looking at all the things that I don't want to forget. Now, here's another little vital piece about raising our vibration. It's really easy, and right now more than ever, to really step into drawing the line, kind of like the line of the yin and the yang, of the shadow and the light. We have to recognize that it's all one, so that when you set your affirmations, it includes the shadow and includes the light. Because when we do that, it neutralizes the negativity, and then it takes us personally out of the polarity. And when we're out of the polarity, then things begin to really change in our lives. And then we start to manifest those dreams that we really, really desire. We have time, perhaps next week. Aliens and so many sightings, but not being reported in the media. So much going on. I know. Aliens. Oh, we should talk about aliens next week. I love that suggestion, because, and then my invitation is for everybody to bring to the table any news and information that you might have picked up. Thanksgiving's Canada. Maybe people have eaten too much and have gone to bed. It's 11 p.m. You're right. It's true. I forgot about Thanksgiving. I know I was talking to some people in Alberta today, and saying it was Thanksgiving, and you're right. They're probably sleeping. But my invitation is to everyone is to look and see what's going on with the ETs. Now, I started to do a blog this week on ETs, reptilians, because they've been here on the planet. Actually, the reptilians were here before we were, and they're still among us. We have all kinds of different extraterrestrials, non-Terran, because we're Terran. We're Adamites. We are the Adamites. We are the created Adamites, and the Adamites, of course, are from the concept of Adam and Eve. But we were genetically modified, genetically created, way, way, way back when. And so by who? By ETs, by extraterrestrials, extra non-Terrans. So sightings are up because lots going on. And like I said in my email that I put out this last week, is that we can't deny them anymore. And the avalanche is going to hit really hard in the next couple years. It's really hard for a lot of people. And there's people in my life that are so blocked and don't believe that's a possibility. Oh, we haven't seen them. Why? How can we think that they're there? Are you serious? So, Richard, that is a great suggestion. So check the news, check alternative news. I just signed up for a site called Sci-Fi, and they have a great collection of different articles of what's going on. And they're not sci-fi, but it's the name they created. So something that you guys can all do in the meantime is check out what's going on out there in the cosmos, which is really exciting. And when you do that, see, you can even hear it. Excuse me, I got a tickle. When I even think about it, I get excited. When I get excited, guess what? I raise my vibrations. So the same is true for you. When you get excited about something, it raises your vibrations. So focus on what you love. Look at your fears, very important. Stand in your light, get in your heart. And oh, one more thing too is when we step into fear, we step into negativity. Imagine that you're on a river and you just let it flow down. And as you let those fears flow down, and they're ahead of you now in the rapids, that those fears, those negative thoughts get washed away, and you send them out into the river with love and light. And when that happens, you're letting them go, you're letting them flow through. It's like when you meditate, you don't focus on the words and, oh golly, and you get into the shopping list. No, you let them flow. So the same is true again for raising your vibrations, for letting that energy flow. So something fun to end the evening on. And then, Richard, I'm going to take your advice. We're going to talk about ETs next week. I think that sounds really fun. I wish I was more techie. I could then put up all kinds of pictures like people do. I'm not that good, but how does that work with an affirmation circle? Oh, well, you can do with the affirmation circle, you can imagine, like, well, we'll use this again. And imagine this is water. Thank you, Richard. You're awesome. So think of this. You're in the circle, and then this is water. So, again, because Atlantis was round. And then look at this as water, and then you just chuck it into the water and let it, maybe it's ocean, maybe it's river, and it just gets dissolved with love and light. So Love you, Jeannie. Thank you for showing up tonight. This is really wonderful. I'm really glad you were here. This is my sister-in-law, everybody. This is a sweetheart. She's in San Diego. So anyway, think about it that way. Everything is mutable in your mind. Everything is changeable. Everything is workable. So again, we're just anything you can do that you will stick with and or alter and change to let things go so that you can be totally in alignment, totally out of fear, stepping up into your courageous, most superhero self so that your vibration raises. When that happens, all of us, all 7 of us, 8 of us, raise our vibrations and we help those around us, which is a wonderful thing. So with that, love and light to all of you. Thank you. Thank you for being so wonderful, all of you, from Tina in Canada to Richard in New Zealand. I thank you all for being here tonight. And everybody else here in America, love you all. Thank you so much. I send you with love and light. And have a great week, and I will catch you next Monday. Night now.